What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. Hope everybody's doing well out there on this beginning of the week, Monday. Doing pretty good myself, other than my allergies acting up from cutting grass yesterday. But I'm doing pretty good, just the same. This Mississippi mayor right here, okay? His name is Hal Marx. And he said some very insensitive things when Mr. George Floyd was murdered in broad daylight on a video, you know what I mean, that sparked national outrage. And by that low life right there that you see to his right, which is Derek Chauvin, all right? This fat biscuit throat ass motherfucker right here, Hal Marx, said that George Floyd died from he said he probably died from an overdose and a heart attack. I wonder why people like to reflect what's, on other folks as really about them, because, the way this dude looks, he looked like he's probably, a heart attack away from death himself. With all that damn neck and that collar and everything. And I'm going to tell you, just looking at him, I'm so glad that I stopped eating pork, every time I look at this motherfucker. But nevertheless, there are people in Mississippi that has been giving him death threats ever since he said that and want him to step down. They want him to resign as mayor. But he refused to do it. Instead, he decided he wants to apologize for his remarks and that they were actually taken out of context. All right. I don't think so. But as we know, it says here, Mississippi mayor defends the officer who killed George Floyd. I didn't see anything unreasonable. All right. So he doesn't see anything unreasonable about a piece of shit, low life, cowardly police officer here with his knee pressed into the back of the neck of a man laying on the ground, begging him to get up off him because he can't breathe, All the while, 2 to 3 more officers are on the other end. See, what you guys don't see is that from the right of this pigskin Derek Chauvin here is exactly like 3 other officers holding Mr. George Floyd down. They cared nothing about this man and his life. They actually murdered that man, But to get into this article here, it says George Floyd died after complaining that he couldn't breathe when a police officer put a knee to his neck for over 5 minutes during his arrest. It's the latest viral incident involving excessive force of law enforcement on African Americans that has mortified many people across the country. Post not pedal, Mississippi Mayor Hal Marx. Pedal. That's what it says, pedal. Yeah. According to the Miami Herald, in now deleted tweets, May 28th, Marx tweeted, "Why in the world would anyone choose to become a police officer in our society today?" Twitter users Jason A. Darby responded saying, "Would be nice to get a few in there that understands reasonable force, which is needed, and don't give the rest of them a bad reputation." Marx then tweeted in response, "If you were talking about the incident in Minnesota, I didn't see anything unreasonable. If you can say you can't breathe, you're breathing. Most likely, that man died of an overdose or a heart attack. Video doesn't show his resistance that got him in that position. Police being crucified." Now, you see the insensitive shit that fat motherfucker just said? I mean, very, very insensitive. Don't give a damn. And his ass, I'm sure, looking at him, he's about, what, 300 something maybe? You understand? And I bet you money he's got sleep apnea. He ain't nothing but one sleep apnea episode himself of being suffocated in his sleep. And he sit up there on his fat, nasty, sour smelling ass talking about this man probably died from an overdose or a heart attack when you see plain and simple how that man died that day. He was murdered. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. See, this is kind of shit. The taunting is what really gets at you. You know what I mean? But I guess this is what they like, you know? Now, it goes on to say down here, after firing off the tweets, Marx further advanced his baseless theory to the Clarion Ledger that Floyd died as a result of something else rather than the pressure of former Officer Derek Chauvin's knee to his throat. Listen, to his throat. And he died from something else. Choked, you know, asphyxiated. Boy, I tell you. He also claimed his comments were misinterpreted. I think that people are so quick to judge the police before they have all the facts. Marx told the outlet, I can't say whether a crime was committed or whether they did anything right or wrong. All I'm saying is don't rush to judgment based on what you see in that video. He continued, I've seen too many cases before where police were judged to be guilty in the public's eye, but later were found to be not guilty under the law for sending that all of a sudden I'm called racist. I need to have a knee put on my neck, all kinds of hateful stuff, simply for having an opinion and asking people to get all the facts before they judge. And an autopsy for Floyd has yet to be concluded. Well, has yet to conclude his cause of death. Marx later took to Facebook Live and offered a half-hearted apology for his comments while still trying to defend the 4 officers involved in Floyd's death. See, this is my point. This is my point. Now, you know, they are on code 24/7. You know, they're going to back one another up. Now, everybody knows, you know, snow when they see it. This white stuff that falls from the sky. We know rain when we see it. It's clear water that falls from the sky. Now, it's fucked up when somebody tell you that snow is actually ash that comes from a volcano or some shit like that. And when we see for ourselves, you understand what snow actually is. See, you got this fat motherfucker think he's some sort of magician that he can make people see stuff that's not, you know, that's not relevant when you looking actually at what happened. Okay. In conclusion here, the man's death, Mr. Floyd, was a tragedy no matter what caused it, Marx said. We should mourn for his death, obviously, but let's also wait for all the facts to get out before we condemn these police officers who may or may not have done anything wrong in this case. I do think, unfortunately, when race is involved, it makes things much more explosive than other issues. This really, to me, was not a racial issue, but I see where African American citizens, of course, consider it that and for good reason. I understand that. He continued, I apologize to the people who may thought I was trying to minimize this man's life, but I simply was trying to say these police officers deserve the benefit of the doubt until we find out more. Hal Marx was elected mayor of Petal. He probably is a pedo, if you know what I mean. He probably is. Probably, y'all check that motherfucker computer for kitty porn. Y'all check it out, because he looks like one. He's a filthy looking motherfucker. Petal in 2009 and was reelected in 2013 according to the Herald. All right. See, it, you know, like I said, that's all insensitive. You know, the things that he said, you know, and if someone were to catch his fat ass beat him to the ground. One man, not four, not three, whatever. Beat his fat, rosy cheek Santa Claus, shaving Santa Claus, pigskin looking ass to the ground and do the same thing to him, he would swear otherwise. He would say, I mean, if something, let's say, for example, if a black man did that to him, a black officer, he would say that it was racial. He would say that, you know? He definitely would say that. See? But y'all tell me what y'all think about this story right here. I'm interested in hearing y'all views on it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And people, please remember to live your life as though we are being watched. Simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.